Hi ladies and gents, Pond here with another video for Rise of Empires Ice and Fire. Today we're going to be looking at Dual Blades, one of the orange heroes that you're going to get towards the start of the game. Dual Blades is probably one of the better heroes that you're going to get in your first few weeks or months of playing the game. She's very durable, she works well with any troop type. It says here that she's a ranged hero, but actually I would say she's strictly middle row, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Now, for those of you that might have watched my other like season hero guides or even just Demon Spear video the other day, you would have seen that they were always linked to specific troop types, whether that's archers, footmen or cavalry. 7 of the orange heroes are actually what are called general heroes. So as you can see here, this hero is an all-rounder. What that means is you can place them with any of the 3 troop types and their skills will work. You can see here on the images for skills 3 and 4 that there are 3 different types of troop on there. So if you've got a hero with those images and the general setting, then they will work with any of the troops. In terms of her skills, let's have a look. Of course, skill 1 is the usual dictator skill. It's going to give you the extra 23,100 troop bonus, nothing new there. Skill 2, sword dance. It's a combat skill. Effective range is 3 and it targets 2 random enemy squads. So if you are probably going to want to put dual blades on the middle row, then this skill will target the front and middle row of your opponent. Now, one of the best things about dual blades is for such an early stage in the game, her skills do have really good chances of activating. This skill 2, 50% chance, so you're probably looking at least 4 times in a battle it getting off. And with such a high percentage, you know, you could actually see it happening 6 or even 7 times in a battle, and we're going to be looking at her in an active battle from a hero's duel in a minute. So 50% chance, it's just doing damage, which is 224% damage to multiple enemy targets, so it's 2 squads. 2 times 224 is 448, so that's not bad. It's not massive, but because of the potential frequency, it's going to be a good amount of damage probably. Skills 3 and 4 are the usual. First, we've got the defensive formation giving 30% extra resistance to the troops. And then skill 4 is the extra 30% might. Her second hero specific skill on skill 5 is Blade Shadow. It's another combat skill, and this one also has an effective range of 3 and also targets 2 random enemy squads. This one does require 1 turn of prep, so it's a bit more susceptible to being silenced or suppressed, so it's not great. But it's the rest of it is nice reading. Again, 50% chance. Dual blades, like I say, this has got a really good chance of activating, you know, up to 4 or 5 times in a battle. You've got to consider that it takes 1 turn prep. But 50% chance to deal 354% damage to 2 enemy squads within range. That's 780% damage. And for what would probably be your middle row hero, that is doing a lot of damage, particularly at these earlier stages in the game. So that is nice as well. Her 6th skill is the usual awaken skill. So you're going to need a duplicate of dual blades to unlock this skill, and that's going to be key for you. You want to get the hero up to level 35 to be able to then unlock this skill. That's always a key element in the earlier stages of the game. For her, she's going to give you 10% extra might for the troops in her legion, in her squad, and an extra 20% resistance. And then the bonus 250% to skill 1 dictatorship to maximize your troop count. Little bit of extra resistance there. So again, she is kind of suited for middle row more than the front row. On her 7th skill, she's giving the defend element, which is going to give 30% resistance to all of the troops in your legion. So she does have a bit of resistance. Isn't great in terms of tankiness for putting her on the front row, but if you didn't have Rough Rider, Orochi or North Rage, then you could put Dual Blade on the front row. You'd rather have her there, for instance, than like a Yamaraja, Heaven's Justice, or Hurricane, for instance. So if you don't have kind of the 3 heroes that have extra HP, Dual Blades is like an emergency option. Her skill 8 is Slaughter, combat skill, effective range of 3 again. So really, you know, even though on the icon it says ranged hero can be put in the back row, if you put her in the back row, then her skills 2 and 5 would only can only reach the front row of the opponent's squad. So you're losing half the power from those skills. So you definitely want to put dual blades on the front or middle row. This skill, the chance decreases. It's only 300% chance to deal up to 400% damage to 1 enemy squad within range and suppress them, unable to move for 1 turn. Suppression is the best form of crowd control, CC, and you're going to hear me talk about CC a lot when I'm reviewing like later season heroes, because it becomes more and more prevalent in the game as more heroes have these skills. And Suppression is the best element because it will stop the troops from basic attacking, and it's going to stop the hero from casting any combat skills. And because the troops are not attacking, it's going to stop any passive skills that they may have as well. It won't affect prep skills or status skills, which again is why later in the game you'll see the top level heroes having more prep and status skills. But at these earlier stages in the game, being able to potentially suppress an opponent's line, you know, is really good. And 30% chance, you're probably looking at 3 times in the battle, maybe, you know, 2 to 5 times. I would say this could get off, 5 times being, you know, really best case scenario. But being able to suppress, particularly if you did have dual blades on your front row and this targeted the opponent's back row, their killer hero, suppressing them for potentially 2 or 3 turns in the battle could make a real difference. So dual blades, even though a lot of her is just about pure damage, having that suppression element is really nice as well. So let's go and have a look at her in a battle. And I did put all of my accounts into Heroes Duel this week so I could get video footage of all the normal orange heroes in action. So here we are, we were in Pond solo and he was up against Muffin Man. Shout out to Muffin Man. Just lives down the road from me actually in the UK. We've been playing together since we were back in 53. He's actually got 2 C25s now. He's developed a really nice account, as you can see, lots of ex-heroes. So we have got, on the second round of the battle, we had just orange heroes with cavalry up against his archers. And in this battle, dual blades actually used 13 skills. So you know, I'm just using this video as kind of a good example of seeing all of her skills in action, and this is really best case scenario, trust me, when you see how many she got off. She actually got more kills than Heaven's Justice, so this is a nice one to look at. So here we go, it did last 8 turns. Of course, because all of these, so on the first turn you'll see all 3 skills activate. So that is Sword Dance, and then that is Slaughter, the second skill. And you can see that she has actually suppressed, Defender. And in this battle, we're actually going to see Sword Dance get off 7 times, and Blade Shadow will hit 3 times. So you'll see that Blade Shadow required 1 turn of prep, so now it's activating. Well, that was Sword Dance, sorry, and now that's Blade Shadow. So as you can see, the damage values are not huge, but they are going to target those front couple of rows. Now we are up against archers who are going to do a lot of basic damage. There we go, Sword Dance activating again. And then Blade Shadow is prepping, so whenever you see that skill icon and it's got the hourglass image in it, that means that it's a prep skill and that you've activated the preparation, and then on the next turn it will actually trigger. So that was on that activated on turn 3, and then we're going to see it trigger on turn 4 again. Now that was Orochi getting his Sejima skill off, which is silenced Tarantula in the middle row. And now we're going to see Dual Blade. She's getting off all 3 skills again. And because there's only 2 rows in the opponent, we've actually managed to suppress the back row Jade Eagle with the Slaughter skill. So even with orange heroes, if you've got... oh yeah, Orochi would have silenced, sorry, Tarantula, yes. So there's the suppression that we've managed to get on Jade Eagle. So Jade Eagle was not able to do anything on that turn. You're really reducing the amount of damage that we've had taken on that turn because of these countering skills. And so like Orochi has silencing on the 5th skill, and then Dual Blades and North Rage also have suppression on their 8th skill. So if you're mixing like Orochi with a Dual Blades or a North Rage, you do have the chance to have quite a lot of suppression, as we're seeing here. So now I'm going to speed up the battle as we've kind of seen the skills in action. And like I say, seeing Sword Dance activate, this is the beauty of Dual Blades. With having her second and fifth skills both at 50%, you know, you can have these really best case scenarios where they trigger multiple times in the battle. Even the 8th round, we had all three skills activating. And yeah, like, even though it was just basic orange, we, between a combination of like the amount of skills that triggered, because that was 27 skills that triggered between my group of heroes up against Muffin Man, only 6 skills triggered, because Tarantula was silenced or suppressed most of the battle. Yes, okay, Muffin Man was just trying out this combination. So like you can see, Defender, she hasn't been awakened, so there was a low troop count on that front row. But in terms of being able to see skills in effect, you know, that was a nice example. And of course, usually in most scenarios, orange heroes are not going to be able to defeat a combination that has seasoned heroes in it. So for Dual Blades, in terms of when you're going to want to use her, well, like I say, she is actually very good at kind of being in that middle support row, and a lot of people would use the North Rage Dual Blades Hurricane / Heaven's Justice combination. So North Rage on the front row, Dual Blades middle, and then one of the 2 ranged heroes on the back row. And you can literally use those 3 with your cavalry, with your footmen, with your archers, and they will work perfectly well. Later in the game, I mean, I still, like you can see, I still use her in my Pond solo account. In my main account, I've only just stopped using her for, like, say, if we're doing a structure hit in Eden and I needed like 4 legions that are all like footmen, then I was still using her because I didn't have enough SX heroes. And like I say, Dual Blades is very durable in that regard. So for any of you that are kind of starting to go into your later like S3, S4 seasons, for me, I would keep Dual Blades in that situation. You probably, unless you're like a super spender and you've got all the S heroes, and you literally just do not need her, fair enough. But for anyone that's a free to play medium spender, you haven't like maxed out lots of season heroes yet, then I would say that Dual Blades is one of the last heroes you're going to want to run. Of course, like, you know, like I've said, she really does fit in the middle row unless you don't have Orochi, North Rage, or Rough Rider. If you do have those 3 heroes, you want Dual Blades behind them in the middle. Yeah, that's really Dual Blades. So I hope you've enjoyed the video, guys. If you have, why not click on that like? And if you have any comments like of your experiences of using Dual Blades, then please do pop them in the comment section below. If this is one of the first videos that you're watching on my channel, then why not click on that subscribe and ring the bell so you can get notifications whenever I'm dropping videos on the channel, which is daily. And if you could please share my channel in your Alliance chat, Province chat, and through Line, WhatsApp, Viber, Discord, whatever you use to communicate with your fellow players in the game, that would be absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon.